Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, your late night morning talk show. I'm here with Shaun and Tyler to talk to you about things we found on the internet this week. We're going to go around the table first, though, and talk about what we had for brunch, starting, of course, with Tyler. Tyler, how you doing, buddy? What'd you have for brunch today?
Sorry, I'm talking with my family, my Robin family, so I'm a little busy. I'm sorry. Anyway, so today for brunch, I went to Everything Bagels again because they have cheap sandwiches, and I can sit there and people don't hassle me. But this time, I had a French toast bagel, which is very good, and then sausage and cheese. Cheese was just American, the sausage was just all right, but that French toast bagel was pretty good.
So is it a bagel that they then prepare like French toast, or is it a bagel that tastes like French toast?
It's a bagel that tastes like French toast. Like, they manipulated it somehow, like in the baking process, not like you would, I guess, typically would make.
They didn't like dip it in
French toast.
eggs and then fry it on a skillet?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Shaun, how's it going? What'd you have for brunch?
It's going good. Work today. Good times. This morning I had a peanut butter sandwich and cold coffee that was left from my French press that I put in the refrigerator with some milk. So it was good. It's kind of nice to have cold stuff in the morning.
That's fair. I'm more of a hot coffee person, but that's fine. I approve. I'm doing good. I had a relaxing Sunday. Did a lot of housework. Watched a lot of House of Cards. For brunch, I had a bowl of cereal and coffee because I was going to make omelets, but then I hit snooze too many times.
It took you this long to start House of Cards?
I started it on Thursday, and it's now Sunday. I know, I couldn't watch it right when it came out. I had company staying at my house. I'm sorry. I'm like halfway through it now, though, and by next week I'll be done and we can talk about it.
You don't need to apologize, Laser.
I'm not very good at building houses of cards.
It's okay, Tyler hasn't even watched the first episode. He doesn't know anything about it. He probably thinks it's about literal cards.
It's okay. This is what it feels like when you talk about Japanese stuff.
It's exactly what it feels like. Foreshadowing! Alright. Well, as always, we're going to talk about 4 topics this week, and you can play bingo along at home at dudesbrunch.wordpress.com/bingo. First person to get a bingo wins a handmade prize from one of us. Alright, so our first topic this week comes from Shaun, who wants to talk to us about April Fool's pranks. Shaun, did you get fooled this April Fool's Day?
No, thankfully. I don't like being fooled or jokes. Well, I mean, not like practical jokes, so no. Did you guys get fooled?
I did not get fooled. I mostly just got frustrated.
Tyler, did you get fooled?
I think in the gaming sphere, April Fool's is just like, look at this dank meme we made. It's never like, it's like, all for StarCraft Brood War, we added a 4th race. Birds! You're like, alright, cool.
Yeah, in marketing brand world, it's like, we're announcing this new product, and it's really dumb. Like Puppy Scouts. That was the National BSA's prank this year. It's Scouts, but for your puppy.
That's something Ohio could get into.
Not funny, really just kind of a waste of time.
I think my April Fool's joke was student loans payments.
Oh, crippling sadness for the win.
Okay, back to my topic. Now that I thoroughly put the press on. So I took a screenshot, which I think maybe we'll be able to get it up on the website or show notes, of Google Mic Drop. I don't know if you guys checked your Gmail on April Fool's Day, or maybe it was on the 29th that I found this too, and on the 31st. You had the ability to get on there and do Google Mic Drop when you hit send, and essentially it just put up a GIF of the little minion that had it dropped the microphone, and then it like deleted your deleted you from the conversation anymore or whatever. So I typed it in because I was like, is this real? Is this going to be like something that's on here forever now? I didn't even think that it was April Fool's. And I typed it in, and one of the first things that came up was send and drop mic. And the first two comments were, how do I undo a mic drop send? And I want to get rid of the mic drop feature. So people clearly didn't see the joke in this off the bat right away. So my first question is, did you notice any other good April Fool's jokes on the internet this week?
So I alluded to Puppy Scouts. It was an okay joke, but it was like an inter-office joke and not a public joke, which is why I was kind of like, eh. I think it would have been funnier if they like came out with a video, but instead it was just an email to all of the employees of the company, and I was like, wow, really? I'm trying to get work done. Please don't send this to my work email.
No, oh yeah, that's right. The Hamburger Helper mixtape.
Ooh, yeah, that was good.
Explain. I never heard of this.
Well, if you took all probably the popular, I guess, rap tropes of the last like few years and smashed them all into like a 6-song LP and also made it about Hamburger Helper, you'd get this album.
It's literally about Hamburger Helper. Every song.
Made by Hamburger Helper also.
Oh.
It's not just... I put it on and Catherine was like, why? I don't like this. I'm like, but I have to know. It's pop culture, Catherine. I have to know about these things. I have to see for myself. If I don't understand the cultural context of Trap Queen, how can I have a pop culture podcast?
It's very important.
Like moths to the flame. So my next question is, did you guys use mic drop?
No. I'm an Inbox user, and thankfully it didn't show up in Inbox. But had it shown up in Inbox rather than just in Gmail, I would have been pissed.
Tyler?
No. I'm like trying to think of like what day even April Fool's was. It was Friday.
Yeah.
I don't think I was even on a computer on Friday.
That's a good choice. That's the best choice.
April 1st, National Turn Off Your Computer Day.
Right.
National Get the Fuck Outside Day.
Right.
Would you guys use mic drop? I thought about sending one of you guys an email just to use it, just see what it did. It was just out of genuine curiosity, not of like,
I think it's some multiverse or galaxy alternate world I might have used mic drop, because that's also a world where I would use email to have a casual conversation with people. But since I have at least like 10 billion different apps to like talk with people, I'm like, why would I use email? That's literally the worst format.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of like something that I already dislike, which is sending email for non-work reasons. And then it added in minions, which is the thing that I probably dislike the most on the internet this year. Like, 2015 was the year of tolerating minions. 2016 is the year of, oh my gosh, why are you still posting minions? Those things aren't even relevant anymore. You have no excuse. You're just creepy and into kids' movies. So, yeah, I'm not down with this. I'm not down with this at all.
Did you guys see Snoopervision or Snoopavision
I
on
did
YouTube?
see Snoopavision.
Did it work for you? I couldn't get mine to work.
I couldn't get it to work either.
Okay. I tried. Maybe that was April Fool's. But, I don't know.
Explain it to Tyler, because he didn't see it.
Okay, so that's what I mean. I don't know if I can do a job explaining because it didn't work, but I guess wasn't it to just, it would like turn on. That's what I mean. I wanted to see it in action because I didn't have any idea what it was.
Yeah, it had something to do with Snoop Dogg and 3D videos. I don't fully understand how it worked.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I do.
I did see, though, Netflix's April Fool's prank. Did you guys see that?
Mm-mm.
They made all of their categories things related to John Stamos.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like, movies as popular as John Stamos was in high school. Or like movies starring people who have been in movies with John Stamos.
That was just an advertisement.
No, that was like
But don't they have a new one on there that's like a John Stamos documentary or something?
He's in Fuller House.
Oh, which is on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they put out a thing this weekend called, like, An Apology to John Stamos, and I haven't watched that yet.
Okay. I don't feel nostalgia towards 90s sitcoms or something. I don't know.
Sean doesn't believe in nostalgia. Or John
But what
Stamos.
about Quilted Northern Rustic Weave Artisanal Toilet Paper?
Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds like the mountain of clean.
Right. It's like wiping your butt with sawdust, which is something
What are you, a barn animal?
Well, that's what the video was kind of like talking about. It was very very rough texture. It's like Cracker Barrel for your butt.
Is there anybody out there that makes like craft toilet paper? There has to be someone out there that makes craft toilet paper.
Cool.
Will you Google that? Google that. That's your challenge this week.
Yeah, listener challenge. You need to figure out if craft toilet paper is a thing. Don't do it, Tyler. Make the people find out.
No, I want to know.
Fine, Tyler can look it up. I'll allow
This is
it.
going to be his reoccurring segment every week.
Tyler Googles some dumb shit that Sean thinks of. Wow, that's really entertaining podcasting right there, folks.
Hey. Listen, Sean doesn't play is now turned into Sean doesn't know Tyler Googles.
Fine. I'll take it. Booting up Google machine. Burp. All right, a quick Google of craft toilet paper brings up Minions toilet paper rolls. So,
God damn it! No.
you want to fold some toilet paper rolls into like little bunny heads? Go ahead. This is not what I wanted.
Maybe we did it wrong. No, not toilet paper roll, crafts.
I don't know if crafts is the right word. Artisanal. Oh, there we go.
Artisanal toilet paper.
Oh, it's just giving me the link to the April Fool's prank. Fuck.
Oh, okay. Well,
See, there you go.
so it's not out there.
That's your new business, Sean.
I know, that's what I should have pitched
Fill in the white space.
last week.
Artisanal toilet paper.
Check me out on Etsy.
All right. Our next topic tonight comes from Tyler, who found a travel blog on YouTube that he likes, which seems off-brand. Tyler, please explain what the hell's going on here.
I don't know if like is the proper word. I think it's appreciate. Okay, so we're talking about Solo Travel Blog, which is, for the most part, is a single guy, I guess, who lives in Japan and does various videos based on his various adventures in Japan with food and activities and stuff. He, I guess, was found by Egoraptor of Game Grumps, well, Egoraptor and also Egoraptor of Game Grumps. And they had him on like one of his shows, and I feel like that's kind of like where I started to hear of him. So he's like, reasonably popular. I think he's got like 500,000 subscribers. So it's not like he's like a little channel. But anyway, so as a lover of Japan, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about him. He's a very interesting person. We'll see how it goes. So, the specific video we talked about was his okonomiyaki, or Japanese pancake. So, what I wanted to know is, do you guys like okonomiyaki, butchering it, or want to try it from watching this video?
I've never had it, and it looks good. I mean, it's brunch food. It's basically right in our wheelhouse here on this podcast. But watching him eat it kind of made me not want to eat it right now, if that makes sense. I don't like watching people eat.
Oh, that's right. Your thing is you don't like people blowing on food.
No,
me.
it's not people blowing on food, it's people chewing.
Oh, okay.
Well, you never saw him chew it.
No, you never see him chew it, but I was still just like, this is a little creepy. He's just like videotaping his meals. I think I'm going to pass on this right now.
I mean, I think it's pretty tame compared to, I mean, at least he's not like fucking like shoving it in his mouth and you're like looking at him like nomming on it.
Right, yeah, that would be weird.
And it's not like he's talking while he's eating it. It's a voiceover, so that's good. It could be, this is For good stuff. This is buck wild. Well, Shaun, what do you think?
Actually looked kind of good. I think the only thing that kind of was weird, but not a turnoff, was the fish flakes in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I can't pronounce it. That's a big thing for me.
Right.
I'd hate going to restaurants and not being able to say what I want to order.
Right.
We went to this Thai place last week, and I had no idea how to say it. So when I went up to order, I was like, "Can I have the number 31?" And they were like, "What is that?" I was like, "Ah,
Are you gonna make me say
you're gonna
this?
make me say this?"
You just want to laugh at me as soon as you go back to the kitchen. Man, Shaun, that's a lot of food places that you probably can't go to. Sometimes you probably can't even go to Taco Bell.
No, I can do that.
That seems like a really weird constraint to put on your diet.
Hey, I don't not go there. I just find alternative ways to order.
What, you just like point at things, or
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
See,
just ask them. I'll ask them how they say it.
the way you had originally explained it was like, if I can't pronounce it, I am not putting it inside my body.
No, I'm not. I'm not Ron Swanson.
Good. I'm glad that you're not that sociopathic.
Hey, I
money
almost
hoarding
understand that cultural reference.
Oh, Tyler knows something about a TV show.
People at work watch this show.
You're growing up so fast.
I know. I'm almost being accepted to popular lexicon. It's insane. Anyway, so I've actually had okonomiyaki before. There's a place called Kwan Hapa that's down the street from Catherine's house, and they have it. It also plays vintage anime, which is probably, as you've already guessed it, probably the reason I went there in the first place. And I thought it was pretty good. So, with that being said, who is this video for? A popular question we have here at Dude's Brunch. Did you find it entertaining?
Yeah, it was okay. His commentary was lacking, but I mean the food looked good. I want a little spatula.
I also want the little spatula. I'm with Shaun. I think his commentary kind of turned me off on the whole thing. It just sounded creepy, and it made the whole experience feel creepy to me. But the food looked good, and I mean, this seems like the sort of thing that people who want to travel would watch, but also people who are into weird internet stuff. And I like to travel, but my internet weird threshold doesn't really correspond with my travel.
You know, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and what I'm about to say, it should really never be, like, actually a reason to defend anything, but the more you watch of it, the more, like, you get accustomed to it. It's really, like, listen, it's weird. He talks very funny, but it's almost like you're waiting for it. You're waiting for him to say buck wild. You're waiting for him to, like, chow down. You're waiting for him to, like, I forget what else he says. There's so many things. Like, but they're like every time, and you're like, this can't be a real person. And then you start to wonder if is this how he normally talks? Is this how he talks in real life? Or is this an act? What is it? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's totally an act.
Yeah.
I think part of it is he's disguising his voice, potentially, because he doesn't want people to know who he is on this channel. But I think another part of it is like, this is a funny voice I can do that people on the internet are amused by, and so I'm going to say weird things in my funny voice and get lots of YouTube views. Which is fine. That's just not a part of YouTube that I watch.
I was wondering if his voice is supposed to be a parody of somebody who speaks English and is Japanese or something.
It probably is, at least a little bit. I don't know. Right. Because, I mean, there's even, like, videos where he's just, like, goofing around, like I said, with like I said, like, the Game Grumps people, and they're, like, he's, like, commentating on cat interactions, and you're like, wait, he's just constantly in this character. I don't know. And then you see, like, his face, and he's talking, and he still talks like that, and I'm like, wait, maybe he really is like this all the time. I don't know. So, we already kind of discussed that you did not find the commentary enhancing. But did you find that him being a foreigner, did you find that helpful? That it was like an enjoyable perspective as opposed to like a local person being there and telling you what's good?
I really like things by expats. One of the reasons, or one of my favorite things that they talk about on Hello Internet is the fact that they're an Australian and an American living in London. And so they occasionally have these like pretty London-specific conversations, but from an expat perspective. And I think that's really cool. I'd be very interested to see more stuff created by people living in their non-native country, but this one just wasn't for me.
Wait, what's that word that you used?
Expat?
Yeah.
It's a shortened form of expatriate, a person who lived in one country and now lives in another.
Oh, I like that. Very nice.
Also, moving to another country is called expatriating, which I think is just a really sweet verb. Mm-hmm. It's like solid top 10 favorite verbs for me.
Well, Taylor, we could have used that word when we were playing Mad Libs, but that's fine.
There you go.
Well, Shaun, what do you think? Foreigner experience? Do you appreciate the expat experience, or would you rather have a local show you around?
I don't know. I don't really have a formed opinion for or against this kind of stuff. I think it really depends on what the subject matter is. Like, I like that he was like going around and just trying one particular thing in a bunch of different places. I think that's actually a lot cooler. That's kind of what attracted me to it. If it was just somebody talking like us back and forth, that would be fine. I'm not really like in love with his personality, but
right.
I'm also kind of fascinated with Japanese food anyway. So
right. Well, I would say that
interesting.
I assume he's American. I don't actually know, but just assuming that he is, I think that's helpful because I think that he probably has within the same wheelhouse of sensibilities. So that means that, like, if he says he likes this, a local person might not like that because it has something that they're like not used to, as opposed to like something we're more used to, like if something's more sweet or like, you know, it's like more. I don't know. I feel like a local is gonna say something's better than someone that's like that hasn't lived there their whole life, that doesn't necessarily live like the Japanese lifestyle all the time. I feel like that's a nice parallel because if you're going to Japan, chances are you're probably not going to be there for too long of a time. So you'd want to find the things that you think that a foreigner would enjoy. Although I guess if you maybe were there for longer, you could maybe enjoy some more of the deeper cuts of their cuisine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I go to American cities, I want to be shown around by locals. But I think you're right. I think having somebody familiar with the American tastes and the American sensibilities, if I was in a foreign country, it would probably be helpful. That being said, when I went to India, on one of the last nights, we had dinner with some women who live there in Kolkata, and we asked them if they got much American food. And they were like, oh yeah, we have a Chili's right down the road from our office. We go there all the time for lunch. And I just thought it was so weird that, like, a Chili's can penetrate into Kolkata, but authentic Indian food is significantly harder to find in most American cities.
Hey now.
Like, a lot of Americans dislike Chili's, but for some reason we don't have good Indian restaurants. I don't know. I don't know if there are things to be said there, but...
Well, they're probably like holes in the wall, not, you know, they're probably like in strip malls or what, you know, like whatnot. They're not exactly like big grand.
Yeah, you don't see their signs from the freeway like you do at Chili's.
Right. What's wrong with Chili's?
I don't have anything against them, but I know many people who really just don't like Chili's. What's your opinion of Chili's?
You know, I don't think I've eaten at Chili's enough to really be on the hate train. I think it's okay. I mean, I went to... Huh?
Shaun, do you hate Chili's?
No, well, I ate it one in October, and it was okay. I think the only thing that was annoying was you had to, like, pay on this little thing.
Oh, they have, like, the pay at the table things?
Right, yeah. I don't like that.
Wait, what do you mean by pay at the table?
It's not in a lot of places yet, but it's a credit card reader at your table.
Oh.
And so you do all of the card swiping and everything there rather than, like, through your wait staff.
What's wrong with that?
I don't like that.
Because you want to interact with your waiter or waitress?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that. I
mean, I guess...
I don't know. I sort of justify that. I like human interaction. It's
right. I mean, I guess if you want to... yeah.
It's not that not, like, a pain on a machine is, like, a big deal. It's just, like, I feel... Like, when we went to Red Robin the other day, in order to get your waiter to come, you had to, like, hit a button and the light to flash. Like, you were buzzing some flight attendant. And I was like, this is...
The future?
Yeah, can't I just... shake my, like...
I mean, I'm not snapping at
water
it. Like,
glass.
Hey!
I am fine with pushing a button. I draw the line, though, at talking through a phone. Shaun and I have probably bitched about this on the podcast before, but the Sonics that aren't drive-thrus, make you sit at a table and talk to the waiter on the other end of the restaurant through a phone.
I don't do that.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I will talk to them at the table. If I have to push a button to get them to come to the table, that's fine. But I'm not going to talk through a phone to a person on the other side of the room. That's stupid.
But really, that's the best part of working at Sonic, is that you don't have to deal with your customers ever or look them in the face.
Have a supersonic day.
That's right. But also, go die. I did not represent the Sonic drive-ins in any way.
Alright, so this week, instead of having a guest, we have a special bonus topic. Our bonus topic this week is going to be something a little bit different. Each of us went to the store and bought a bottle of wine that costs less than $10, and since the three of us are very inexperienced and know next to nothing about wine, we're just going to try and pretend like we know how to taste wine on a podcast, and this is either going to be hilarious or really stupid. So keep your finger on that skip button, folks, and let's begin. Shaun, as the person who's probably drank the most wine and knows the most about this, I want to make you go last. Tyler,
This isn't saying much.
Tyler, have you ever drank wine before?
Like, I think 3 times.
So your experience with wine has been what, weddings?
No. Casual encounters.
Oh, like of the Craigslist kind, or just
That's right. That's right. I just go to people's houses, and they're like, "Here, just have some of our wine." And I'm like, "Okay." No, mostly it's just been like
Cheap ass party wine?
right. Or the one time I had mulled wine, which was the best part. I'm all about mulled wine.
I'm also all about mulled wine. I can accept that. Sean's shaking his head.
the hell is mulled wine?
It's where you take essentially like spices, almost like potpourri, like large chunks of spices. You know what I'm talking about? Like big like sticks of cinnamon and whatnot.
Yeah,
You put them all in a
like a 5-gallon bag.
No,
You
it's like
put
those
water and fruit in there, and then you put it in your closet for 6 months.
It's they're like
That's a grenade, Kevin.
it's like the little mesh pouches that you use to season things with. Like you
Yeah.
put all your seasonings in the pouch. I forget what they're called right now.
Yeah,
So you put all your seasonings in there, and then you put cheap wine in a crock pot with that, and let it sit all day, and then you drink it hot, and it tastes kind of like wine and
That's
apple
not
cider.
wine.
Or cold.
That's not wine.
It is wine.
It is in
Mulled
fact
wine.
wine, but it's almost cider. It's so
almost-
close
That's
to cider.
That's like making broccoli and cheese soup and then putting noodles in it and calling it macaroni and cheese.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, wine purist.
But it's not noodles. It's not like elbow. It's like spaghetti.
I'm pretty sure mulled wine is like one of the original incarnations of wine. Like,
You don't
Well-
know that. Prove that.
He can't prove it because we're not Googling. This is a Google-free segment.
is it?
It is. Don't you even do it.
You can't
Prove
stop me.
I will bleep you.
You
I
can't.
will bleep you.
I would just be curious as to.
We'll
See how
figure it
that
out.
would
I'm
work
sure
out at most.
somebody will tweet it at us, but we're going completely off the cuff here.
All right.
So, Shaun, what's your experience been with wine?
Well, in preparation for this topic, on Friday night, I drank an entire bottle and then went out.
Oh, shit.
And then I got up and went to work the next day, and I had a massive hangover.
Like
I
a
don't think that's
champ.
what you're supposed to do.
I wasn't planning on going out, but I was drunk. And
What's
at
up?
4 o'clock, when I went to bed, I was like, yeah, man, I gotta work. Oh,
Sounds like a blast.
bad call. It was a good call, though. Talked to some nice people, went to some cool places.
So, I didn't really drink wine at all until I came home from college on one break or something. And my parents have gotten really into vineyards since they've become empty nesters. And so they had all this wine from a trip across Pennsylvania where they went to a bunch of different vineyards. And then they had me like, oh, well, you should try this wine, and you should try that wine, and you should do this and this and this. And so, like, I've had a bunch of different wines in very small amounts, and I don't remember what I like because they all have weird French names. But I know that I like dry red wines, and I know like 2 or 3 types that I like, and so those are the ones that I buy. So there you go. We're all very inexperienced about wine. And
You are
that's
human
why we're
garbage.
drinking wine. You're human garbage. You just drank out of the bottle on a live podcast.
I'm not going to listen to somebody tell me about drinking out of the bottle. Then they're like, yeah, I drank like 3 kinds of wine and I know what I like now, so that's all I buy. You're not about to
No, I
on this.
had like 3 dozen different types of wine, but I don't remember them all because I had too many that I can't remember.
Oh, all in a row?
No,
In
over
one
the course
night?
of like a weekend. No, if I drank that much wine in one night, I would probably like have had alcohol poisoning.
You're not serious.
But I digress. So, Tyler, what are you drinking? We didn't plan this well enough to all drink the same things, so each person's going to have to tell us what they're drinking and then drink it and describe it.
Alright, so literally an hour before this happened, I went to my local Jungle Gyms, and there was conveniently a section that said, great picks for under $10. So I was like, perfect. So it's the Royal, which you can't tell what it is because it's backwards. And it says, Valley Vineyards, a wine company, South Africa, 2014, a good year. Good year for beans.
It says that on the bottle, or it says that's when it was bottled.
It just says 2014, Old Vine Steen, Chenin Blanc, wine of Western Cape, South Africa. And I believe the description that was provided to me said it had had a peach note, which I only know what the fuck that means.
Do you taste any peaches in it at all?
Well, right, see, that's what I'm saying. I only know that that's what I'm looking for because I've had pour over coffee, good coffee. So I'm like, I can start to find those notes. So let's find out. I've already had like half, so I actually also put ice cubes in it, which is you're not supposed to do. So I've already, but I wanted it a little
this is
cold.
Fucking amateur hour.
I know. I wanted it a little cold though. I didn't want to be.
We should have chilled it then.
You have the bottle. Just drink it out of the bottle.
Fuck you.
What? Oh, what? Like someone else is gonna drink it?
No.
Then drink out of the bottle. Who cares?
Listen, I'm not a savage, okay?
So,
oh, pinkies up. Tyler's not a savage.
all right.
Higher. Pinky. I mean, I don't taste peach. I don't really taste anything, probably because I don't have the palate. I don't have the ability to taste the notes yet. It literally tastes like every other fucking wine I've had.
Wow.
What do you want from me?
I'm so glad this is the choice we made for tonight. We're not gonna piss anyone off making this garbage.
I want to fight you.
Do you want me to say I'm basic? Because I'll say it. I'll say what I am. I know it.
You basic ass bitch. Shaun, since you're over here drinking another full bottle, I can only assume that you like whatever you have.
Well, okay, so is that a Reese's egg?
Yes, it is.
You're human garbage. But on my topic, so my first bottle of wine that I had was a classy Charles Shaw, circa 2014, which is also known in the city and wine circles as $3 Chuck. You can get it at your local Trader Joe's.
For $3.
It was good. Yeah, it was a Shiraz, circa 2014. It was pretty sweet, not that dry. It definitely made watching the hockey game that much more entertaining. So definitely give it that. And it was good out of the bottle and aerated in a glass. So yeah, good times. You really gotta taste these things. But so it wasn't too dry, it wasn't too sweet. So you could probably eat it with a lot of stuff. You didn't have to have it with like a particular kind of meat. I hate you.
You know what you're
Just so the
talking
audience
about.
knows, Tyler is like just rolling around in the background, just like giggling and totally being a giggle
I'm like,
party and not
I
inviting
wish I
anybody else
understood
with
what
him.
Asians meant. I'm like, I can't even.
But it was good. Good times.
So what are you drinking tonight?
What I'm drinking right now is the Charles Shaw Sauvignon Blanc, which is the sweet white. Pretty good. It's circa 2013, got a little more age on it. I have nephews and nieces that are younger than this wine. Interesting thought. But hold on a minute. It's good. It's pretty sweet. Probably pair it with lighter meats, fishes, chickens. But for $3, you can't beat it. There's a reason that I got 3 bottles and still was under $10.
So what's your third bottle? Have you even tried
My
it yet?
third bottle is, I think it's a Merlot. No, I haven't tried it yet. Just because yesterday was a pretty hard day. Yesterday was a struggle. And I'm definitely not finishing this bottle tonight. It'll probably be a week until I get done with this one. But yeah, no, it's pretty good. All in all, a $3 chunk, not bad. Just don't drink a lot of it because you're going to have quite a hangover.
I would say drinking a whole bottle of anything is going to give you a hangover.
Yeah. The lady who was behind me in line at Trader Joe's, because I asked Sarah if this was a practice at Trader Joe's. I don't know if you guys have ever been, but usually the line is so long that it kind of wraps around the outside of the store, I guess. So when I came in, I did some scouting first to see where the line was at. Then I got a couple groceries that I actually wanted to get. And then I got in line, and when it passed by the wine, I just grabbed some stuff. And the lady behind me made fun of me for only getting 3 bottles of wine. She was like, only 3? Like, what, you can't afford another bottle? You can't afford 4?
Well, to be fair, when you're just impulsively grabbing wine like that, you do kind of look like the person who just buys, whatever has alcohol in it.
Hey, I don't have that kind of job where I can buy more than $3 bottles of wine. Please. All right.
Now, I mean, just for full disclosure, I don't think at any point in my life I would ever classify Shaun as like someone that would know a lot about wine.
I don't know that much about wine.
But you
I am
certainly know
amateur.
you certainly know how to talk about it. So
that's like basic stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Shaun here.
This is like, maybe I've watched like 6 hours of wine documentaries.
And that includes Psalm, right?
Yeah, right. And
which is the wine documentary that everyone's seen.
Right. And I had it with dinner. That was about it. About a cajillion times.
So, like Shaun, I was at a party on Friday night and went a little too hard. But I did have a nice red there. I had a Sauvignon Blanc. I didn't really try to taste it. I just kind of drank it because it was the type of party where there are like lots of different alcohols, and I wanted to try a little bit of everything. There was a vineyard there was an independent distiller there was a brewery there, and they were like giving out tastings, so I just wanted to try one of everything, and I wasn't really like paying too close attention. But anyway, so tonight I am drinking a dry red because I pretty much always drink dry reds. I have from Los Andicos in Argentina, a Malbec from 2015. Yeah, I actually aerated mine in a glass, mostly because I got this wine glass forever ago and I've never used it and I felt bad. So this is me using it for the first time.
Have you drank any of this yet?
I have not. I have no idea what it's going to be like.
This is virgin taste.
Yeah, it was like an $8 wine, so I'm not expecting a whole lot.
Oh, man, fancy.
It was at Aldi. Can't be that fancy. It doesn't have a whole lot to it. Like when you drink a dry wine, typically there's like an initial flavor and then it just kind of dries out gradually.
Mm.
This just kind of tastes like nothing, and then it dries out. I mean, you don't even really get a whole lot of grape to it, which is kind of surprising.
Mm.
It's just kind of a dry wine. You're like, yeah, okay.
On a dry scale of not dry being not dry and dry being drinking sand, where would you place this?
Drink it with a burger dry, not drink it with a steak dry. If that makes sense.
Okay. I was looking for more of a physical.
Oh, a physical location? Oh, okay. It's like
like eating sandpaper. Like no.
No.
Oh no, eat it with a fine prime rib or a nice in cut of Kobe beef. No, you idiot. Oh, what it's
well,
like.
Fuck you too. It's I don't know. It's like I don't know. A bread that is maybe a day too old. Maybe a day though. Like
Tyler,
you can tell it's not stale yet, but it's getting there.
If your wine was a color, what color would it be? Just put some in your mouth, swirl it around, close your eyes.
Right.
What color would it be?
Hold on.
I got it. Light pink. It's not light pink, but it tastes like pink.
I don't know how to quantify that.
Well, it's not a number, so you're not quantifying. Mine would be olive green.
Good choice. Are you looking up colors?
Yeah, I forgot what color was. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I gotta Google it. I can't function if I throw up my Google machine here. Hold on. I don't know. Fuck it.
It's hashtag 000673
I feel like that's too many numbers.
It is too many numbers.
Shut up.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, taste a little bit more. Dude, give it another try. Maybe not thinking about it enough.
Maybe that's a problem. Maybe he hasn't drank enough.
Yeah, breathe in the wine. You swallowed it right away. You gotta leave it in your mouth.
Yeah, you gotta swish.
Yeah, swish. Breathe it in. Kind of gargle a little bit.
I wish the listeners could see Tyler's face right now. He's trying to laugh and swish wine at the same time.
How much does it burn when it comes out of your nose? Because
I'm fully expecting it to be all over his keyboard.
I don't know what the colors are associated with. I don't know what that means.
You just pick a color. It's like saying what ice cream flavor describes your cat. It's not a real question.
I'm like, how can I just keep thinking of like corresponding with magic colors, and that's not what that is at all. None of you understand what that means.
Okay.
I do, but I was choosing to ignore it.
So
that's right.
Okay, so hold on. Wait. Okay. So we'll do this so we can accommodate Tyler. What Pokemon character or Yu-Gi-Oh character would your wine be? Does that help you? Will that help you describe?
No, I don't know.
I don't know what any of that stuff is. I have to make something up. I have to think really hard in the recesses of my Pokedex brain.
So what? Okay, so I think it would be better if you explained how you got to your color.
Just try to describe it in terms of a color.
Associate the color with the taste. Like if it's pink, it's going to be light and fruity and
right,
like a pink champagne, which you probably never had.
Or if it's like rich and woody, it would be like Taylor was saying, or dry. It's like, it'd be like darker green or
Brown
but
or maroon
yeah.
or something.
Now I'm ruining it because now I'm like perverting all of your possible wine tasting things.
I mean, I guess it's light. I guess it's like probably like yellow. I don't fucking know. It's conveniently
that's okay.
also the color of
That's
of
fine.
drip.
That's good. That's good. But what kind is it? Like canary yellow? Is it like
Probably
Vincent
bright.
Van Gogh's like
Very-
sunflower?
Very, very sun faded yellow.
Okay, cool. There you go. Wasn't that
You
hard?
did it. You did
They,
it.
they did good work,
I
buddy.
was like, this burns me. Is it black? Is
You
my
could say
soul
that.
dyed?
Here's my question, and part of the reason I did this. I feel like wine, over really any other type of alcohol, intimidates people. I think the only thing that might come close is scotch.
Mm.
Like, people feel like they need to know a lot about it to drink it. And obviously that's not true, but Tyler kind of like gave that impression when we first started, and I sometimes feel that way when I'm around people who drink a lot of wine. And so I guess my question to you guys is, does it feel strange to you to drink wine and to talk about wine, even though we're not necessarily experts in the field?
No, because we've said dumber stuff on this podcast, and this will not go down as one of the dumber sections we've ever had.
That's right. Love songs for boys.
My advice to this is I'm never afraid to ask somebody. You can always go up to like whoever's working at the wine section, especially if you live in Cincinnati, you have like Jungle Gyms or something, and you can say like, "Hey, what do you think about this? What's something that you like? Is there like something to give them like a price point? These people probably know we're probably working that particular section, so they know, they talk to people, they might have had it. So, like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a humidor to buy cigars or anything, but generally the people that work there are really into cigars. So you can kind of talk to them about like, okay, well, I've never had a cigar, or like, I want something that's like this, and they can kind of point you in a direction of what you want,
Yeah, that's very much how I feel about this recently. When I first started drinking legally and like was going and buying things, I felt much more comfortable talking to people at breweries or talking to other beer nerds and being like, hey, I like this kind of beer, what would you recommend? But I think because the wine audience was older, I always felt intimidated by it. But as I've like moved to a city and been around more people and been to more events where like wine is a common like aspect of the event, you're right. Like there is, the intimidation kind of goes away, and you're just like, hey, these are some things that I know that I like, or this is what I'm eating, or this is how much money I want to spend.
Right.
What should I drink?
Well, okay. So since this seems to be perplexing you, if
Tyler,
you went out,
do you feel put off by the learning curve in wine?
No.
do you not like wine?
I think it's more of just I'm not that excited about it, I think.
Okay.
And I would say that like it's hard to like when you've only had like one or two like wines, you're like, well, I don't know the difference between it. I've only had it like a single time.
Right.
Whereas like I've literally drank the same coffee in different variations, different styles, like a lot more frequently, so I could tell what was good and what was bad, how weak it is, how how strong it is. So it's just about
Right. No, you're right. It's about developing a palate.
right.
Like if somebody serves you Maxwell House and you know it's Maxwell House, I mean, you're going to know it's
Awful coffee that humans
Right.
should never consume.
right. It's just the ashes of something. Who knows? It might have been, who knows? We'll just let Maxwell House figure that one out. But like when you go and get some like super blend coffee from a local place that does their own stuff and roasts their own beans, you can taste that. You know the difference between a light roast and a dark roast and what it all means and stuff like that. I think that's when I started getting into like fermented and like brewed drinks. And I started drinking them more was just because I like to see what makes them different.
Yeah, that's the part that really kind of drew me in as well. A friend showed me this new thing that's going on in beer right now where they're aging beer or brewing beer in wine barrels. And it's taking on the flavor of the barrel. And it's really interesting, like fruity, grapey beers that you would not expect. And so that was kind of my entry point into like how subtle wine is and how like tiny little differences can make the huge change in the flavor. And so that part's been really fascinating for me.
I think it might have been almost been better if I had, like, I guess, pre-gamed for several days in advance and been like, oh, this one tastes like this. You know, I can more adequately explain the notes. But at this point in time, I'm just like, certainly tastes like wine.
You've only had 3 glasses of wine before, though, so like nobody can really blame you. So I've got our final topic this week, and I want to talk about Reddit's April Fool's joke. So we talked about April Fools at the top of the show, but Reddit always does an April Fool's joke that's more like a project. Last year was the button, which some of our listeners may remember, where you had a button on a timer, and depending on how long you waited to press the button, you got a different color attached to your username, and it was like this big weird experiment thing. So this year's social experiment is called Robin. And the way it works is you are placed in a chat room with another Reddit user. And you can start talking to them and see if you have anything to talk about. And if you don't say anything, it drops you both from the room and randomly generates another pairing. So you're talking to one person, everything's going fine. And then it tells you to vote. And you have 3 options. You can either abandon, stay, or grow. Abandon means the chat dissolves and you get a new partner. Stay means you stay with that one person. And grow means the conversation grows and includes more people. But the thing that gets interesting about Robin is it adds another chat with the same number of people. So if I'm talking to Shaun and I hit grow, it's going to add Tyler talking to Catherine. And then there are 4 of us. And if we hit grow, then it's going to take the 4 of us and add 4 other people. And it keeps growing exponentially like that. And so it's been this strange social experiment of how big do chats get before they completely fall apart? How long can a chat stay a certain size? What do people talk about in these rooms of varying sizes? And just honestly, how long people will pay attention to this thing. And so everybody on the podcast tonight has tried Robin today, and I just wanted to talk about it. So my first kind of like question for you guys, because we've been using this really over the last couple of hours, is what did you think? Do you enjoy Robin? Do you dislike Robin? Is it weird? Is it cool? What are your initial impressions?
Well, it's kind of like chat roulette a little bit, except it expands, I guess. And there's no dicks. So
this is true. It's only text, so there are no dicks.
Uh-huh.
That's all right.
Thanks, Shaun.
Do you like talking to random people, Shaun?
Considering that I do it for a living, no, not really. Well, okay, yeah, I like it, but I mean, like, over the internet, it's kind of boring. Just everybody yelling on top of one another.
My initial impression is very similar to your guys's. It's okay, and it's kind of like chat roulette, but with less dicks. So, has your experience been lots of people yelling at each other on Robin? Because my experience was initially just like awkward silence for a long time, and then it was like everybody's trying to have a conversation with the first person they joined with, and all of these other people are there also having conversations with the first person they joined with, and like there's not a lot of overlap.
Everybody was just doing a quiz show online. It was like, what's the capital blah, or who was the person that did blah? and then everybody was like answering it, and then moving on to the
Interesting.
next question.
I'm currently having a conversation with someone whose favorite subreddit is our NFL, and I'm trying to find common ground with them. It's not going very well.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit outside your wheelhouse, bud.
Well, to be fair, my coworkers did and do like to talk about sports and fantasy football, so I definitely think like I'm at least competent enough to like talk about basic level sports. Like I distinctly remember I think the moment where I was really like actually interested in like sports even a little bit was the Bengals game where they threw it where they gave I forget who they're even playing against, where they gave them like 2 penalties and just basically gave them the game. And so I was watching with Catherine just to see what would happen, because I think that was like right before the playoffs, or it was the playoffs game. And so I was like, yeah, so this happens and this happens, and then I realized I actually know things about sports. I understand the basic concept of football.
See, that's really interesting, because for me, it was a lot more like, what are the things that I already have interest in that these people are talking about on Robin? Like, I talked to people about a couple podcasts I listened to. I talked to somebody about Kanye West's new album. Like, it was all things that I was already interested in. So it's kind of cool to hear that you're, like, finding common ground with strangers. And Shaun just is listening to people yell at each other.
Yeah, the game show. Well, to be fair, to the previous group that I was just like, who are you? This sucks!
Yeah, sometimes you get in there and there's nobody talking, and it's just like, why are you even here?
Right. Well, just like chat roulette, it's all just kind of like, sometimes you just get nothing. Did you guys actually chat roulette at all?
Yes.
No.
Alright, well, Shaun doesn't like talking to random people, so that's fine. Did you ever...
You're not going to discard me the whole time just because I'm like, Shaun's like talking to random people. I just don't like getting on the computer and being like, and everybody's just, God, it's annoying. Stupid.
So for me, when the conversation is good, I really enjoy this kind of stuff. I think my favorite subreddit is r/casual conversation, which is just that. It's like people having normal, everyday, casual conversations. So this kind of stuff, like, it's cool to me. I think it's interesting to see what people want to talk about with strangers. Is it interesting because of the way that it grows? Or is it interesting because of the way it randomly puts you with people? Right? Because, like, chat roulette or something like that, they have an element of randomness to them, but it was also, like, this spectacle at the time. Like, oh, you gotta go on chat roulette and see what's gonna happen, and there's probably gonna be dicks.
That wasn't me who was saying that.
I want to look at some peepees. Let's go. Come on, kids. I don't know.
Let me tell you, when I was on Meerkat, the first time that I saw a dick on that, I was like, do I want to be on this anymore? I don't know. No.
Yeah, I think that's always like a bad mark on anything, is how long does it take before you run into nudity that you weren't looking for?
Well,
and it's usually not very long, unfortunately.
To be fair, porn does push.
Another reason that Robin really captivated me over the last couple of days is because it feels very similar to something that I heard about on an episode of 99% Invisible that we'll link in the show notes. I'm sure Tyler remembers this because it's relatively recent, but did you guys listen to the episode about the Mojave phone booth?
That sounds like an Urban Dictionary.
Tyler?
Can you just start to tell me what that story was about so I can tell if I...
Yeah, so there was a phone booth in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and nobody really knew why it was there, or at least most people didn't know why it was there. And this is like the 90s, I think, late 80s or the 90s. And this guy in California makes it his singular mission to call the Mojave Desert phone booth until somebody picks up. And he does, and he calls it in his spare time for years. And finally, someone picks up, and they have a conversation, and she lives out there mining salt. And the phone is out there for the people who go out who work in the Mojave Desert mining salt. And so he published early on the internet about this Mojave Desert phone booth, and it became a destination that people would travel from around the world to answer this phone when people would call it. And the phone booth has since been taken down, but the phone number is now a conference line where you can talk to people from around the world who have heard the story and want to talk to strangers through this phone booth that no longer exists.
This is like an episode of Pete and Pete.
Well, it's probably based on the actual phone booth, the episode Pete and Pete.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a real thing that actually happened. And that's kind of what Robin feels like to me. It's like this very strange, coincidental way to just meet strangers.
Maybe that's why I don't like this, because my introverted subculture, or it's not subculture, subconscious is like, nah. If you want to meet people, just read books.
See, I'm also like that, but I also love the anonymity.
It's actually a bug. I'm just kidding.
Right. I kind of like that I can do whatever I want and there's no like repercussions for it, so I'm like, I can't, it's fine to just be goofy.
So you're express your true self on the internet, huh?
No, maybe not necessarily, but it does allow me just to fucking just type whatever the fuck I want. Where
I mean, you do like crap on sports a lot on this podcast, but you seem to enjoy and indulge in sports on the internet.
Maybe Tyler is a closet sports fan.
Oh,
I could be.
I might have to kick you off the podcast.
I think in a multiverse, I really like sports. I did play football for an entire year. If you're asking if I like competition, the answer would be yes.
Well, yeah, we know that.
I think it's all about subcultures that I don't think I identify with most sport subcultures, so that's probably why I don't engage in most traditional sports.
I think you like sports. You're just afraid to.
I think so too.
To say it.
Well, as much as I love psychoanalyzing Tyler on this podcast, I think for me, it's not really the anonymity thing that Tyler's talking about. It's more like the serendipity thing. I'm really intrigued to figure out, like, okay, this is a stranger. What sort of serendipitous thing do you have in common with them? Or you're in a random subreddit. What are the chances you're going to find someone you know? Or someone from your city? Or someone who's interested in this weird, obscure thing that you're interested in? Like, that kind of law of averages, like, you will find someone who is similar to you in this way thing, is really fascinating to me. And apparently to nobody else.
Oh.
Someone said their favorite subreddit was r Ask Reddit, and I was like, I don't know, that seems weird. I feel like Ask Reddit isn't exactly like a subreddit that can be your favorite. I mean, obviously it can be, but it's certainly
a weird choice.
It's certainly an aspect of Reddit that makes it unique, that makes it special, as opposed to other forums. But it doesn't feel like the reason why you come to Reddit. It feels like your favorite personality or person is on there having an AMA, and you're like, you want to engage in that. So
yeah,
it feels like an occasional Reddit. He says, I like it. It's like I like playing, like it's a nonstop lightning answers round. So kind of like our lightning round episode.
You should go back and listen to it. Episode 50.
Oh, well, just skip all the parts where I'm talking, because that was not one of my better episodes.
So, final question as it pertains to Reddit Robin. What kind of experiment would you like to see in terms of online conversation starting? Because we have a lot of apps and a lot of websites that try and start conversations between people on the internet. We talk about one probably every week on this show, or every other week. What's the thing that you're looking for? What's the app that you don't think is there yet? Or the solution for starting conversations that you don't think is there yet?
Well, I would say that I actually really like Mitomo, which is going to be our topic, or my topic for next week. But I think it allows like, because I'm having conversations with people that I've hardly ever interacted with in my entire life, and I get to, like, talk with them and have, like, a conversation about whatever the fuck. It's, like, unprovoked conversation, which I think is really kind of almost what I need, because I have a hard time, engage, like, starting a conversation with someone, but I have no problem with, like, continuing, or, like, if someone invites me into a conversation, then I'm, like, willing to participate, but it's hard to, like, be the starter of that. So.
Shaun? What are you looking for?
I don't know how to answer this question, because I don't really look for this kind of thing through apps or on the internet. So I don't know. I don't really know how to answer your question. I haven't really put much thought into it.
It's just not something you go to the internet for?
Not really. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but I
mean, I don't think it is. I think some people just don't. That's not how they use the internet, and that's fine. That's absolutely how I use the internet. That's how I've used the internet for a very long time. But I think the space in my life for that sort of conversation is, right now at least, is conversation with people near me. I think Reddit and Slack and Skype and all of these things have been a really good way for me to keep in touch with people, like, all over the country and all over the world. And Twitter, like, I talk to people from all over the place on Twitter. People that I only know through Twitter, even. Mm-hmm. But it's harder to find people, like, in your neighborhood or in your city on the internet, because everybody is kind of, like, cityless and nationless online. Mm-hmm. So I would be very interested to find a real good solution for talking to people in your area.
I mean, that's what I would rather do. I'd rather just talk to people around me.
I don't.
That's okay.
I'm a big, scared, weenie baby.
We can both have, like, different... I don't know. Maybe that's why I just don't really fall into...
You're not really a social networking person.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with social networking either. Like, I don't want to act like me not using it to its, like, socialist... to its most... I mean, socialist, but socialist is just... Like, its most, like, social
its most social use.
Right, because I've always been kind of turned off by the idea, because I really can't separate what's advertising now and what's not. I don't really know, even in, like, our social interactions, especially on, like, Facebook and stuff now, like, everything is just retweeted or something like that, and it's just hard to tell.
That's why I haven't finished that book you loaned me, Who Owns the Future, because it started making me really overthink that kind of stuff, and doing that for a living already, and reading that book just made me really sad. So I stopped, and now I'm reading James Bond, and it's way more fun.
It doesn't make me sad. It just makes me think, like, I investigate more into what's going on. I'm always wondering if this is, what this means. If anything, actually, I feel like my more politically savvy friends have been toning it down with how much they've been talking about politics. I think maybe we have been over the critical mass of everybody talking about it.
I would agree with that. I think we've over-politicked recently. We need to step it down a little bit. At least on social media.
Because summer's coming and people are more outside now, so they just want to post pictures of, them hanging out at a bar or something outside.
So what you're saying is you're against algorithmic feeds as opposed to chronological ones.
That's a whole separate issue. I don't want to get into algorithm.
Yeah,
gate.
I don't know.
I am specifically not talking about algorithm gate this week. That's my this week resolution.
Ripperoni and the pepperoni Instagram. Come on. That's all I'm saying. I loved Instagram for like a whole month, and then they killed it.
You can still love Instagram. It's going to be fine.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you guys for obliging me and playing around with Robin, even if you didn't enjoy it like Shaun.
Don't worry. Next week, we'll have another social network for Shaun to hate.
I know. I just think that there's better ways out there to talk to people than Robin. Like,
it's okay. It's okay, Shaun. We understand. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
Like podcasts.
Podcasts are a great way to talk to people.
I like the podcasts.
Alright, it's time to round the show out, as we always do, with a round of shameless plugs from the panel, starting with Tyler. Tyler, what do you have to plug this week?
Hey kids, you can follow me on tylerdreed.com to check out my designs and illustrations. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as TDR Design. Follow me as I am absorbed into the wonderful world of Miitomo.
Shaun, shameless plugs from you.
Thanks for listening. If you live in the Washington, D.C. area and you need somebody to do policy analysis, please hire me. Please hire me. Check me out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm sure that Taylor will post the links in the show notes. It'd be really cool. Other than that, to all my sports teams that I like, please stop losing. Please. You all are really good, so stop losing. Cavaliers, Capitals, Mets, even though you haven't even started playing yet. Please stop. Please win. Please. For me.
And on that depressing note, shameless plugs from me. You can find me on Twitter at TC Olmstead. I'm stepping up my Snapchat game. I'm also TC Olmstead on there.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been really lacking over the past month because I've been crazy busy with work, so I'm stepping the chat up. Stepping things up on the Snapchat.
What are you going to do on Snapchat? Let's... Sorry, just...
I don't know. I'm going to try and cover more of my day. Talk about more of what I'm doing, keep people up to date on the little things that don't deserve like a full-blown Facebook post. And then, in terms of podcast land, I want to thank everybody for listening this week. And if you like the show and you would like to be on the show, you could be on as soon as next week. We have about 8 guest slots open in the next 10 weeks, so it would be really cool to have some people on in April, May, and June. So send a tweet to @dudesbrunch or send us an email, dudesbrunch@gmail.com, and we'll get you on the show, and it'll be super cool. Thank you, as always, to my panel, and we will see everybody next week for more brunch.
Konnichiwa. It's a Christmas miracle. We had a topic that didn't run as long as it could have.
That's true.
That's what you call a miracle.
Sure. Wait for a miracle. What is that could be? Wait for a miracle. What is that be? I really am. Anyway.
I'm so glad I hit record right before you started doing that.
Wait for a miracle, Taylor.